The Bundeswehr is preparing major businesses and civil infrastructure for operations in a global crisis, according to Frankfurter Allgemeine Zeitung. The initial version of that strategic document spans 1,000 pages, but its detail remains classified. It reportedly lists all buildings and infrastructure deemed critical for military reasons and requiring special protection. The Bundeswehr is also urging companies to develop contingency plans, including measures for autonomous energy supply, such as diesel generators. In Hamburg, discussions have already been held with representatives from trade, industry and agriculture. Similar meetings are being organized across the country, German journalists report.
The document also includes detailed plans for defensive or preemptive measures in response to Russian maneuvers on NATO's eastern flank. In such a scenario, Germany would serve as a central hub for tens of thousands, potentially hundreds of thousands of soldiers, along with military equipment, food supplies and medical provisions to be deployed to Eastern Europe. From the Frankfurter Allgemeine Zeitung publication.
NATO's readiness for a potential direct confrontation with Russia and the ongoing war in Ukraine were key topics at the annual Berlin Security Conference. The event, one of Europe's largest defense forums, gathered military officials, politicians and industry leaders from numerous countries. And for the third year, the conference is held under the sign of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. This year's conference coincided with the 1000th day of the war.
Effective defense requires a comprehensive societal approach. It's not enough to prepare the armed forces for war. The civilian sector must also be ready to contribute to overall defense. The population needs to be protected during war and, most importantly, mentally and practically prepared.
My
takeaway from this conference is that all countries around us are determined to act.
The British armed forces are prepared to respond immediately to any Russian invasion of Eastern Europe. According to UK Deputy Chief of Defence Staff, Lieutenant General Rob McGowan. Speaking to the Defence Select Committee of the House of Commons, he emphasized that now the British Army has a number of operational advantages.
The first point I would make is that if the British Army was asked to fight tonight,
yes,
it would fight tonight. And I don't think anybody in this room should be under any illusion that if the Russians invaded Eastern Europe tonight, then we would meet them in that fight. That would be the first point I'd make.
Secretary of State for Defence of the UK, John Healey, added that the UK is conducting a strategic defence review. During NATO's 12-day exercises in Finland, the British Army successfully tested the Archer mobile howitzers, an artillery system designed for rapid deployment. This was announced by the UK Ministry of Defence. However, the UK lags behind its continental partners in preparing society for a total defence, admitted Admiral Sir Tony Radakin, Chief of the Defence Staff. He acknowledged the gap but emphasized that London fulfills its commitments to NATO, pointing the country's nuclear capabilities as the key contribution. He noted that the UK is modernizing its nuclear deterrence infrastructure, including the development of new nuclear submarines. Reported by Boston Katerina KD, UATV News.